sadly, a lot of men and women won't give that second or third chance based upon what you wear.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. So happy to welcome back, gosh, one of my favorite guests, Scarlett De Bease, the stylist to women over 40. Scarlett, thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you. I love it. Thanks.
You were one of, you were among those first guests when we just started this channel, and we've had so much fun having you on. And I just love it when people come back who supported this channel early on. We had like 500 subscribers, and we're coming up on 50,000 now. You were a big part of that, so thank you. Anyway, we have a great topic today, and that is how to make a great impression on a first date. And of course, what you wear has a lot to do with that. And, while you do specialize in women, you have great advice for men as well. I found this article that Silver Singles put out. It's one of the dating sites that specializes in the over 50. And they gave some tips, and I want to have your opinion on that. One of the first things they throw out is that, choose classic. That classy or classic is always classy. Let me throw it over to you.
You have to choose what represents who you are and what you feel comfortable in. Mm-hmm. So I have clients who love the classic look. It's a great way to invest your money in clothes. I love it too. But then I have other clients who are very creative. Mm-hmm. And very kind of like out of the box. So if he or she was to wear something traditional, they'd be lying to the date. They'd be lying to themselves and getting uncomfortable with what they're wearing. So you really do have to wear something that makes you feel like you are who you are, and sticking with that, but trying to look like somebody else if you're not that person ends up messing you up, because you're not going to be genuine, and it shows, and you're going to be self-conscious, and that ruins. Anytime we keep every time we stay up here, we ruin whatever's happening.
What is considered classy these days, or classic? Just to clarify what they mean here, and versus more creative.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because there is no one look anymore, which is great because you can have more fun. Classic for what they're describing there would be maybe like a zippered pullover for a man. Well, some men would put that on and can't wait to take it off because it makes them feel constricted and uncomfortable and not who they are. They're not going to sit by the fire that night with a pipe and the newspaper. They're just not.
Yeah, that's really that's a great point. That to me, I felt like that was good advice, because all my stuff is class. I have like 18 of these shirts, but yeah, you be yourself, because if you don't feel good in your clothes, and I know you're a big proponent of that's not going to work anyway. And color then is the next big thing, and they say something interesting here. I wanted to get your opinion on that. When in doubt, for women, wear black or red versus orange or brown. So let's talk about color a little bit and how that works.
I'll tell you what I agree with and what I don't. I agree. Don't wear orange and brown. Yeah. I'm all for that. Those colors can be really nasty on people. They can, orange in particular can make somebody look orange. Yeah. Never the look you want to give, you don't want to look like you're flushed all the time, So, but black and red, it's interesting that you say that, because a friend of mine who's a dating coach who she recommended a client to me for her. She wanted to go back in the dating world. Mm-hmm. And she came to me for like, what should I wear? And red was a horrible color for her. Horrible color for her. So you can't just wear something just because they tell you that you're going to get more swipes or more looks, because if it makes you look bad, you're not going to get more swipes and more looks, But what I did find for her was a version of red. Maybe it was more berry or wine. So you have to kind of play around with the colors and see which ones look good on you, and that you're wearing the color and it's not wearing you. So the right color, whether it's black, red, or navy, or teal, whatever. You want your features to be more prominent and more, come out more and glow more, And if you're wearing a color that sort of, that's what you see first, or makes you look kind of dark or ill, or shadowy, or then, that wouldn't be the right color. So I'd be very careful with, I don't believe in general guidelines because we're all very unique. All of us, in personalities and how we look and how we stand and how we talk. So it's important to not go just by that. So red is not necessarily the best thing, but you can have a version of it. It can be still, and if you have eyes in a certain color, which they never talk about, you should be wearing that color right here, because then your eyes are just going to go like you're green, your eyes are greener, and you want people to look there when you're in person or profiles. You want people to see your eyes if you're lucky enough to have colored eyes. So I would wear a color that matches your eyes before I would wear black or red. Personally.
Well, and you told me that I should wear green all the time because my eyes were green. You told me that a couple of years ago. So now I have my whole wardrobe is green. Now, the people that don't have the benefit of talking to you, which we'll link, to all of your information if they'd like to contact you. But how do you find the right color? There was references to color tests that are online. Do you believe in that, or are those good?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I work with somebody, I show them with photos and what works for them. You can find things online that'll help you, but you can also just go with your gut, which means once you're aware of something, you're paying attention to it. So put something on and see whether or not you look healthy. Yeah. See whether or not your skin looks clearer or smoother. And once you're, everybody who I work with, or even I talk to here, once you think about it and you're aware of it, you're going to notice the difference. You will see it. You will definitely see it. If you put on black and it makes your under eye circles look darker, then it's not right for you. Yeah. So it's something, until someone is made aware of something to look for something, they don't know about it. Right. But then once it's in your head, you will know. Absolutely, you will know.
And you've alluded to this. Another tip here is comfort, that if you're not comfortable, you might as well, you're just not going to look good if you're not comfortable.
No, you're not. So if you're wearing something that perhaps is a little bit too tight, right? Or maybe is a little bit too big, then you're going to be self-conscious. You're going to be messing around with your clothes. You're going to be touching them, adjusting them. Even if you're not touching them, you're going to be thinking, can I eat this? Will it pop? Will something open up on me? You become very self-conscious. And when you start going back into what's in your head, you're not able to really have a conversation or feel good or relaxed. So comfortable doesn't mean you can be sloppy. It just means you're wearing clothes that fit you properly and make you feel like yourself and make you feel like you're looking good, which is really what clothes should be doing for you. And that's important when you're on that first date or a second date. You got to look like you made an effort.
Yeah, it's funny. I hear that because we have such a large male audience. That's actually a comment I get from men too, that women don't make the effort. I think for men, would you, well, that's again another recommendation, just a white shirt and even with jeans, something simple like that can kind of go either way, or maybe keep a jacket.
Yeah, I mean, I would do a button down shirt. They have some great ones now, like Untuck It. You literally just button it, it's done. You don't have to tuck anything in. It's better if you don't actually, because you'll be more comfortable and also more slimming. But I wouldn't do necessarily just plain white. I would do like a color. Okay. Show a little personality, show a little creativity. Don't dress to look like, somebody, a staff person or a photographer. You start to become aware of that, But yeah, but I would do that. You don't need a jacket. You don't need a tie. A woman doesn't have to wear, a suit. You can wear casual clothes, but they should be well-fitting, cleaned, ironed. I don't know, not too loose, not too casual.
Yeah. Well, and of course, there's a lot of fashion, like the no-goes, what to avoid. I think that might be super good tips as well, what not to wear, especially on a first date. When I say that, what comes to mind to you right away?
You're making me think of a woman that I just met this past weekend, and I had met her husband the same night, and they had just gotten married, but they met online 10 years ago. And she told me about the first time they went on a date, how she almost didn't want to go on a second date with him because of what he was wearing. And he was wearing a Hawaiian print, short sleeve, button down shirt, the one that you wear when you're in Hawaii. But they live in Connecticut. So it didn't really quite. So she told me how she really almost didn't go out with him again, but she liked him. She was something about him, and she said, I'm going to give it another try. And she said for the first few dates, until she told him, maybe you could try this or that, she was mortified by how he showed up. And I gave her like a lot of kudos, because she didn't dump him right away, but and she's got a great guy, and he has a great woman. But sadly, a lot of men and women won't give that second or third chance based upon what you wear. And that's why it's so important to wear clothes that make you feel and look good, not like you're trying to be somebody else, not things that don't fit you properly, and things that look like you made an effort and you cared. If you don't look like you made an effort, men and women, you're going to not maybe have that opportunity for that second date. And that could have been the one. Yeah, all because you wore a Hawaiian shirt.
What a great point. We actually have done videos on that, Scarlett, about not being so judgmental in that first date, because we get so nervous. We talk too much. We say the wrong things. It's just a very nervous, anxious situation. And yeah, your clothes could either help or hurt that. Yeah, that was a great example. Anything you can think of, like to me, women try too hard, wanting, and I think you mentioned that, but wearing something too tight or too revealing or too low cut.
Yeah. You can, my father told me this, you can be incredibly sexy and not expose any part of your body. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to have something very low cut or very short, or heels that are so high that you can't even walk in properly, or shorts that are so skirt. You're not sending a message of, I'm looking for a relationship, when you're dressing too provocatively. So I think that there's a way to be sexy by maybe picking one part of your outfit to be more sexy. Maybe it is a little bit shorter, or maybe it is a little bit tighter, but not everything. Maybe you could wear some heels as long as you can walk in them. That's really important. Yeah. Nothing ruins a look faster than someone walking like this because they can't get their balance right on those heels, or having to take them off as soon as you get to the table. It just ruins the whole thing. But nobody ever is looking for sexy if they're looking for a relationship. I don't think.
I mean, that's a great point, is that we really need to be aware the message our clothes are sending. And I'm glad you pointed that out, that too sexy does not imply that you're serious about a relationship. I never thought of that. I just thought it was kind of
and I'm not being a prude about this. I know a lot of people who are doing online dating or dating after, their second or third marriage or their first marriage. And I hear all the stories, from my clients and from my friends and from my family. And it's not really a great idea to go for that, that hotsy-totsy look, and then expect some man to look at you as a potential partner, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But once you have the relationship going, go for it. Have fun. Yeah. The first impression is always the best way to do it.
Yeah. Well, we're starting to come to the end, so I want to maybe wrap it up, maybe summarize, or what are the best things men need to remember, and some good advice for women to remember on that first date. Let's go ahead and start with the men if we can.
Yeah. So for a man, make sure that your clothes are fitting you properly. That if you have a little bit of a tummy, for women too, you wear something that kind of camouflages it, not highlights it. So, no tucking in your pants and having the belt buckle someplace underneath that stomach. You're better off with something hanging out. You'll look a lot thinner and you'll be a lot more comfortable too. To again, as I said earlier, look like you care. So don't look like you just threw whatever on that you found on the floor in your bedroom, but maybe something that was already kind of ironed or pressed or whatever. And for women, it's the same thing. You want to wear something that's going to highlight the positive parts of your body and hide the ones that you don't like, because everybody has different parts. Some like larger chests, some women don't like them, but you want to highlight what you love on your body, and you want to hide what you don't, and that goes for men too. And it's totally possible to wear clothes that are going to make you feel attractive and make you feel put together and make you feel even young, and hip and stylish, without looking like you're trying too hard.
Because ultimately it is about confidence and character that you want to bring across. You don't want your clothes to speak for you.
Clothes are kind of like the accessory to who you are. They are an accessory to your personality. They are a way to show who you are, and they are a way to make people feel comfortable to be around you and to make yourself comfortable. But like I always say, it's like you just mentioned, you're wearing the clothes, they shouldn't wear you. So people can look at you and say, I love I love your necklace, or, I love your tie. That's great, but it shouldn't be, oh, what a tie. Oh my God, that necklace, how can you wear that? People can say weird things, but it should be a compliment to who you are. It shouldn't own you.
Yeah. Well, and the other great point you made is that, maybe on the first date, be as simple as possible without not being who you are, and then let your creativity through clothes or whatever develop as your relationship develops. If that's appropriate, if that works for both of you.
If a guy is like, fun and has lots of personality and likes to make lots of jokes, let him wear the craziest socks he can find. That'd be a fun way to show that. But up here, don't wear the graphic t-shirt, and wear more of a traditional kind of a shirt, and then have fun with the socks. So you don't scare people off right away, let them get to know you. And for a woman, it's the same thing, use great necklace or a great color handbag. You can show a little personality, but for the outfit, you're right. Keep it a little bit more simple, because you want people to focus on getting to know you and not get distracted by what you're wearing.
Yeah. Scarlett, thank you so much. You're always full of great advice. We'll link, of course, to your website where people can get a hold of you directly. You work with people from across the country. You can do this virtually. Bring your camera into your closet, which I will not do with you. You would be so disappointed.
Yeah, people can share the photos of their clothes. I don't have to actually see their closet, but yes, it's a great way to help people all across the country always know what to wear.
Well, thank you so much. I want to hold you over for one more segment where we actually talk about profile pictures. I know you have a great input on that as well. So we will see you next time on Second Act TV.